all we need is FBA. All we need is FBA. People will say that maybe we can use FBM from the beginning, but now I don't think, especially for Chinese seller, if they use FBM, it means they will never have buying box. How can they get sales? The first step is you must get a buying box, and then you can sell. So always, all the things you must do is FBA. Hi everyone. So glad to can have a presentation here. So thanks Zach to introduce me. Today I will give you a workshop. It's about sourcing in China and shipping and FBA. First of all, I want to introduce myself, and I think Zach already introduced me. I was Lisa Qian from China, but mostly I have two companies, one in Los Angeles, another in China. So like I was based both in Los Angeles and China. I have doing 10 years for the e-commerce, and it's like more than 5 years Amazon seller. Actually, I'm not an IT person. I know the basic to handling the Amazon account. So how can I win in the Amazon? Because I know the supply chain. I control it very well, so it helps my brand increase and very steady for the past 5 years. Yeah, this is my picture. I'm not sure when you use Pioneer. They just put my pictures in the front page because maybe like in the 2014, maybe I'm the biggest seller in China. And in the 2015, I win the outstanding Goldman Sachs 10,000 Women Entrepreneur. Before I doing Amazon, I was a professional sourcing for the West brand. My brand is CK Hugo Boss. You can see some brands from my before company. It's like worldwide. So people can, difficult to imagine that all these kinds of brands from the same company. But actually, if you know the factory, you can do the inspection of the factory, you can do a lot of brands. That's the reason why a lot of Chinese have hundreds accounts, sell different catalogs, because they can control the sourcing supply chain very well. Okay, this is, it's kind of like I, from the very basic to now, has warehouse overseas. Before I was doing drop shipping, like one piece by one piece, and then I do FBA, it's like the bulk air shipping. And then the quantity is bigger, so I use bulk sea shipping. And now I have established my warehouse in United States. So for me, now I'm pushed to have a steady, stable business, and with a better profit. I do not want to have a very big scale. And it's like that it can be sustainable in the future. And my account is very safe. For me, it's kind of like I only have 3 accounts, but every account is definitely will never be suspended by Amazon because I know the policy of Amazon very well. Okay, first, then I wanted to let you know how to sourcing in China. Yes, you know Chinese suppliers, they have a lot of advantage because we are the world factory. You can source everything in China. And there are a lot of channels you can source in China, like you can go to Alibaba, Canton Fair, and yeah, we have a full capacity definitely. But there are a lot of problems, especially for the Western people to communicate with Chinese. So you have a communication gap, and sometimes you sourcing some products, but you will think, oh, it's not as description. And always, yeah, it's true that we still have a lot of copycat products, so you need to very care about the IP problem. This is never allowed for the Amazon. I will give you these 4 steps to sourcing practice in China. So mostly it's very important you find the right one, the supply. So you must do a supply inspection. Most of the people think that I find a factory, then it's the meaning it's the real supply, but actually it's not. And if you think that if the product is cheaper, then you find a best supply, that is not. The basic thing is that every real supply must have the permit of import and export from Chinese government. The permit of import and export. Because they do not have this permit, they can never receive foreign currency. So how can they, and maybe they didn't know the policy to ship the products. So it's not the real supply. I do not recommend you to sourcing from the 1688.com because most of the suppliers there, they never know how to export the product. They do not have the permit. So it's not real. When you do supply inspection, you must ask these 10 questions. So these 10 questions not means they must have meet all requests, but they can help you check when this supplier is professional and when they are honest. First one is, what is your relationship with the factories? If a supplier told you that I owe the factories, so you needed to check below questions when you can see when they really owe the factories. But actually, there are a lot of trading company in China, and before I was also working in the trading company. Actually, they are just a cooperation relationship with the factories. So that is not mean all the factories will have a better supply chain control. Mostly, if a trading company have more than 3 factories cooperate, they will help you to do a better and a best price for the factories control. What is your OEM brand? Do you know what is OEM? Original equipment manufacturer, like the famous brand, when they find the factories and they just this kinds of they offer designs. This kinds of factory is mean the OEM factory. What is your factory capacity? So if people, they know the capacity, that means they can control the lead time very well. That is very important for Amazon seller. The lead time means you can help your rank increase very rapidly, so never out of stock. Do you have any inspection report from other customers? If this factory has the inspection reports from big company like Walmart, Costco, that means they know the standard about how to import the product. Do your product have any certification? Yes, I saw that there is a question about ask when they have FBA. For most of the big accounts in Amazon, they need every certification for your product. So always prepare them. They will just suspend your listing and ask you, do you have this kind of certification? So you need to find the one has the certification. Raise your other customers. Yeah, never use African export company factory to produce the product to the United States. They will never meet the request. Where is your do you have your own shipping team? This is very important, especially for the Amazon seller, because we need a high request for the shipment. I will let you know the shipping later. Do you accept CIF? Do you know what is CIF? CIF. It's the payment method, but most of the Chinese supply, they will not accept CIF payment, but you can just check whether they are honest to you and they really know the supply chain. Do you have an offshore company or bank? I don't know why. It's because maybe it's because of the tax reasons. Mostly the 100% trading company will have, or the factory will have offshore, at least an offshore bank, like in Hong Kong, Singapore. And do you have your own design workshop? This is also very important because you will see that when they have a copycat problem, IP problem. I highly recommend if you have chance to go to China, you'd better come to the factory. So if you go to the factory, these are 4 places you must go. Sample showroom, or design workshop, warehouse, and a finish workshop. Most of you guys, when you go to factories, you only check the showroom, but who tell you that all the samples in the showroom are produced from the factory, you will never know. So when these samples are true from this factory, you'd better check in the design workshop. And another thing is very important, you must check the finish workshop. Because the finish is very clean, that means they can control the quality very well. They do not have bulk production quality problems. Even the sample is made very beautiful, but who knows, there will be a problem for the bulk production. And if you are doing Amazon, there are more requests for supply. As I mentioned, it's exactly lead time is essential. Yeah. For Amazon, the rank will be always, if you are out of stock, the rank will decrease very rapidly. So never let you're out of stock. This is very important. Always check the repeat orders. I have my own experience when there is a listing, it's growing very well, and I got a repeat order for the bulk production, but the product is different from the before. So the listing got a lot of negative reviews, then almost the listing is useless. So you need to do another one. So you need to do a lot of works. So repeat orders, be careful. And I do not recommend the AliExpress supply. You can see if they can list the listing in the AliExpress, they definitely will list it in the Amazon. Maybe they will sell them already, so you do not have advantage. The price may be competitive, so you can't sell on the Amazon. Maybe these kinds of products maybe have some problems when they are selling on Amazon. So if you are sourcing from the AliExpress, mostly you do not have chance to win. This is for a high advanced request for supplies. So the bigger companies like Walmart, Apple, if they are choose some factories, they will need more requests like human rights, IP protection, capacity, MOQ. What do you know the MOQ? Minimum order quantity, yes, that's right. And lead time, and the payment method. The last one is for the government relationship, because you know China is not, it's a socialism country, so it's different. Most of our enterprise, our factories need a good relationship with government. Then it will be helpful, can solve a lot of problems. This is the key point. I think you must remember when you choose your supplier. Yeah, I highly recommend the trading company because if you have some arguments with your supplier, trading company always stand by your side because it's difficult to them get a customer, but they can very easily find the factories, so they always stand by your side. But if you directly do business with the factories, sometimes you will have a cultural gap, so you are difficult to negotiation. Factory which can offer other customer inspection or product certification is essential. I have already mentioned that. Design and finish workshop means much more than the showroom. Yeah, never only trust for the showroom. Of course, showroom will be very beautiful for you guys, but if you check the finish shop and the design room, you will know it's maybe have some problems. You will see the truth. Always choose the supplier which has export product to your sale destination. I have already mentioned. Different factories totally have different standard, like the size, the certification is different. So always, if you are selling to United States, choose the factory who is sell to the United States before. Any experiments, the supplier will have its own offshore company and bank account, as I mentioned before. And now then, if you find the right supplier, the second step is to make agreements with supplier. I told you that, unfortunately, contract and the law in China may have limited power to protect your right. Yeah, that is the true business. But because like we are the socialism, Especially you are so far, how can you have some low? It's not workable. Maybe you can do that, but maybe like take 1 year or 2 years, then your listing will be totally die. So you need to. It's better you find some third party to protect you. They will solve the problem much faster than you. Yeah, there will be have some cultural difference between Western and Eastern. If you guys have already communicated or cooperate with Chinese supplier, you will see the difference between, especially when you have some case, not a disagreement, you will see that it will be happen like that. As my experiments, I think 100% the Western people will be surprised why Chinese think like that way, but it's true. So another thing is very important that you must make every details very clearly. That can avoid a lot of problems happen. And you must trust the third party. If you have a trusted third party in China, it can help you save a lot of time, save a lot of money, solve a lot of problems. So third party is very important. That is why we have a lot of trading company in China. All the follow-up and inspection. Yeah. You must check the status frequently. This is the working way about Chinese. If you do not push, there will be some delay or something. You need to check the status frequently and repeat the order again. Some listings increase really, really good, but because of the repeat order, the listing is useless. So repeat orders must take more attention. And for the bulk production, make some check, do some quality inspection, definitely. Shipping. All we need is FBA. All we need is FBA. People will say that maybe we can use FBM from the beginning, but now I don't think, especially for Chinese seller, if they use FBM, it means they will never have buying box. How can they get sales? The first step is you must get a buying box, and then you can sell. So always, all the things you must do is FBA. So for the Amazon shipping, it means two parts. One is the international shipping. If you are sourcing from China, that means ship from China to the warehouse, Amazon warehouse, and then fulfillment by Amazon. This is the inventory shipping. I told you before, the FBM it's not have a help for the rank for the selling. So you must take care about the bank air shipping, bank sea shipping, and the overseas warehouse. It depends what product you are selling and what your scale is. Like for the bank, if your listing is increased very rapidly, so I recommend you use the bunker air shipping, but it will have a problem. It will have a high cost and only uses small size product. For sea shipping, it will be better, but of course you need more cash flow to buy a lot of inventories. So it depends your own situation. And if you can do the size bigger, maybe you can, like me, I have overseas warehouse because I can manage the after-sale service. They can return the product to my warehouse. And because it's very important, you must keep low of the inventory fee because Amazon inventory fee is very high. So always, if you have overseas warehouse, you can save a lot of cost of the inventory fee. This is the basic calculation when you are checking when you need to use the air shipping or sea shipping. And I mentioned that here it's like 5 or 20 days to prepare the air shipping. But most people will say if you are using FedEx, it's like 3 days you will arrive to the American. Why so long? Because Amazon will let you waiting, and you need time to let your inventory online, so it will be longer. And for the sea shipping, you must make 14 to 16 days. It depends if the sea shipping is different from the Western or the western of the United States, the east of the United States. Eastern United States will be longer, like 16 days at least. And when you calculate the shipping fee, it's like $1 per kilogram for the air shipping. Mostly it's like you cost only 0.5 US dollar for kilograms if you ship like FedEx. But it's not work because you need a lot of other fee, so it will be higher. Inventory shipping, this is the tips for it. Use airbound shipping when the product rank is keeping increasing. Yes, if you are using sea shipping, I don't think your listing will continue increase because it's too slow. Sea shipping will be better for saving margin 2 months per turnover for a stable listing. 2 months, prepare each time 2 months. Always make longer will be you need more cash flow, and less you will not have enough inventory to sell. Always make the sea shipping inventory conservative, because if you got too much inventory and your sale is decreased, then you will have a lot of cost for the inventory and the Amazon long-term inventory fee. A lot of people doing Amazon, they said they do not earn any money. Where is the money gone? They are all in the inventory, in the long-term inventory fee. So always make it conservative. If you are not, the product is not enough to sell, you definitely can have more air shipping to help you. Try to make 18-20 sea shipping and air shipping combined for a long-term listing. This is my experiments. Inventory shipping, and if your product is short of stock, always increase the sale price instead of out of stock. That I mentioned. It's have a negative effect for the ranking. Prepare the holiday season at least 1 month more than usual. Yeah, the holiday season are too busy for the factories and for Amazon. There will be a lot of problems. So always make longer to prepare. And of course, because Chinese New Year, people in the factory will go back home. So you should prepare 2 times than usual when during the Chinese New Year. Be aware no long inventory all the time. Yeah, long-term inventory, it's extremely expensive, so be careful. FBA. I told you that always need the FBA, not only for the sale rank can help. Of course, they have other effects, like a rank effect. FBA will always have a positive effect to the rank. FBA will prior to get a buying box than FBM. There are some difference between Chinese Amazon account and the Western Amazon account. For Chinese Amazon account, there is no buying box for merchant, fulfillment by merchant. Performance effect. When you doing FBA, you will never got negative feedback. If you have a negative feedback, then you just send a messenger to Amazon, let them know that you are doing fulfillment by Amazon, then they will remove the feedback. Never have, because Amazon think they are doing the service, so they will take responsibility for the FBA. A healthy inventory and the FBA turnover can increase the rank and account performance. Yeah, we can see this picture. It's for the inventory performance. They will give you scores. So, like me, I was very careful about the inventory fee. It's always below than the 1%. 1%. And if you are doing the inventory not well, the FBA not well, they will limit you. They will restrict your inventory. For the inventory, it's like a standard inventory and oversized inventory. So what is standard size inventory and the oversized inventory? This is the standard definition of a standard size inventory. Yes. And any item exceed this dimension is considered oversized. Oversized will be more expensive, and you need a long time to ship. Oversized you can only use by sea shipping, never use bunker air shipping. It's not useful. The shipping is too expensive, and it's always go to like at least 16 days, so it will be take longer. Okay, I give you this standard for Amazon for the package and the weight. How Amazon calculate the size, calculate the weight for the FBA. Yeah, if less than 1 pound, mostly it will calculate for the weight, and the dimension is bigger, then it will calculate by the dimension. And after you have the size, and the weight of the products, you must calculate the FBA fee. Here is the link to help you to calculate how much is the FBA fee your product have. Do you know the reason why mostly, like Zach mentioned, it's need above 14 US dollar? Do you know the reason why? Yeah, because like most of the FBA will be cost 3 or 4 US dollar. So if you are selling very cheap, like 6, 10 US dollar, you will definitely have no profit. So you must keep the FBA fee like less than 13% at least. So that's the reason why you should never. For me, maybe I can have products like 13 US dollar average price. So because the FBA fee, that you can never sell the product too cheap. This is the cost of fulfillment fee. So here is a summary for sourcing and shipping. For sourcing, that you must do very careful for the inspection of the supplier. And not only means, that is not means cheaper. Cheaper, you can have a lot of problems. You must consider more aspects for the supply inspection. And prevent problems I mean prevent, not when you have problems, then you're trying to solve it. Then it will definitely have some loss. So always prevent it. Check the repeat of the, always check the bunker production and control the lead time. Especially for the holiday season, need a longer lead time. Shipping, all we need is FBA calculate carefully for the FBA fee and the size. Sometimes people just ship the products and because they do not take care about oversize or standard size, so there will be a higher price. Then they say, oh no, the price is too high, I can't sell the product. So always be careful. And the FBA inventory. Leave longer shipping time. As I mentioned, for the sea bunk, you must leave like 45 days to 16 days. For the air shipping, you must leave like 15 days to 20 days. Okay, then I want to give you some advice, strategy about the sourcing. Of course, you know that Amazon have a lot of follow sale. They can sell exactly same product below your listing. So in this case, even your listing is selling very well, but the price is very low. You can't get profit. So you must do something to prevent other sellers sell similar products. That is exclusive distributor of the product. You can do one thing is for the Amazon brand registration. If you have do the brand registration, definitely other brands cannot sell under your listing unless you get your authorization. But this is not the only way help you. You can negotiate with the factory, let them to help you do the exclusive distribute. That is what I do always. It means I am the only seller on Amazon for this product, so I control the price. I can get a higher profit. And how can negotiation with the factory? Firstly, definitely you need some quantity. If your sales skill is too small, they definitely not interested with you. And you can let them know that you want to have a long-term cooperation. So you must have a better relationship with your agency or with the factory. They will help you to protect your product, not to have other copies, as they do not offer your product to other Amazon sellers. And another thing you can do that you just change a little bit the details for the product. So other people, when they are selling your product, you can just complain to the Amazon because their product is not exactly like yours. The description is wrong. So their account will be suspended. So make little bit changes. And it's very important you have a good relationship with the supplier. Okay, so for my 10 years experiments, I have kind of like this service or experiments for the product sourcing solution. Like most of the drop shipping is like the market stock. The quality is very low and a lot of competitors. So we need to do as a advantage. I already mentioned the OEM, original equipment manufacturer, who can help you to produce the quality the products. But if you need more requests, you can do ODM. D means design. They will offer you some design. If the factory can offer some design, maybe you can avoid the IP problem, and you can do exclusive sale. And if you cooperate with this kinds of factory, maybe you can always focus on the marketing work because they will do all the things. And the best one is OBM, original brand manufacturing. So they will offer you all the pictures. And maybe if you are selling very well, they can give you exclusive distributor. So you can focus on to selling. China has a lot of good factories. A lot of Chinese factories, they are now very creative and creative. So maybe you can find these ones will help you a lot. Do not always think that's always cheap, like the one, say, Alibaba, like 1688. You must find a better one. It will be help you. So for me, I also have a lot of relationship with the good factory, like ODM factory, OBM factory. They are also very interesting to cooperate with you guys. I think that we should return the market to you, to the Western, and focus on the produce, focus on the creative product. That will be share the profit to the world. So if you are interested, you can contact me, and I will give you some good brands or good design product. Maybe we can cooperate, especially for the non-English speaking countries. And here is my contact. I would like to quote day one. That is last year when I met Vice President Eric from Amazon when they come to China. So they said every Amazon seller must do things from the first day they are doing. So like me, when I was working for the first day, I was helping Western people to sourcing in China. So I think now I know very clearly about the Amazon and a lot of knowledge about e-commerce, but I still wanted to help all you guys to grow your business, cooperate with China and the Western. Thank you very much.
All right, raise your hands if you learned something new. Everyone, those were some gold tips. We can really see why China is killing it on Amazon. Yeah. So I'm going to help you out with some Q&A. So self-shipping versus FBA, which option is better for a standard product?
Definitely, it's FBA. If you do a self-shipping, I told you, you will never get a buying box. The rank is low. Even when you do the FBA, the price will be like $2, $3 expensive, more expensive than the self-shipping fulfillment by merchant. But you still get the buying box. And you will never get negative feedback if you do FBA. So highly recommend you do FBA.
All right, from where to find specific suppliers. So let's change that again. Where should you source from?
My source from?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely from China, made in China. Yeah, but we mostly for me it's like a lot of because when I was working with big brands, we already know a lot of factories. And sometimes our government will help me to introduce a lot of great factories. So we have established the relationship with factory like 10 years. So mostly I only cooperate with these kinds of factories. I trust them and they trust me.
Yeah, different regions in China are known for different things, like Shenzhen for electronics, and EU for wholesale goods. Let me see. There's a lot of questions here. All right, we're talking about patent infringement. That's a different scope. I heard most companies in China have BSCI, is fake, paid for, or under the table. Have you experienced this?
Yeah, to be honest, there are some problems for Chinese suppliers. They are always do some tricky thing. Yeah, it's true. That's the reason I told you that you must use the third party because they know what kind of a tricky the Chinese supplier will do. Yeah, it means a lot of things. Yeah, but if you know the people like 5 years, you will definitely know what kind of people he is when they will do some cheating to you and. Definitely, because I'm Chinese, they may not dare to cheat me. Yeah, and I'm famous in my industry area. So what can they do? If they do that, they will never. They may do not have any more customers. So yeah.
So step 1, be famous. Step 2, negotiate. All right. How do you negotiate with manufacturers as a startup to lower MOQ and keep the quality high?
It's a good question. How to say? I don't know. If I ask them, can you support me to develop some products? Most of them would like to help me. Yeah, it's kind of like if you negotiate with maybe like the photograph, can you take some pictures for you guys? They will say, oh yes, I would like to help. So yeah, sometimes it's like that. But it's kind of like because we are all Chinese, so we can negotiate easily. Yeah.
Step 2, be Chinese. All right. So, how do you get custom packaging done? So, I'll rephrase it a little bit. Do you get your packaging done by the same product company that makes your products, or do you have another company to handle your packaging that is then bundled?
We can use the same factory for easier control, and we can just control the factory. We told them that you only offer these products to me, then they will promise, and I trust them. So it will be easier. Yeah.
And I do. I usually have other specialized packaging factories that I then send and then bundle. Like One Hack. Anyone doing supplements? All right, nice. So if you guys are making your packaging in the USA, stop doing that. Make it in China, send it over, and we were saving like $2 per unit, and we had crazy good packaging that beat everyone else. So get your packaging done by a specialist factory. Lisa, how do you spot factories versus trading companies on Alibaba?
Oh, which one?
Yeah.
Alibaba has a lot of trading company actually. Most of the Alibaba, even they told you that they are factories, but actually they are trading company. Yeah, they are focused to find the customer. I think the best factories in China, they do not directly to list on the Alibaba because they get a lot of orders. They are always full of capacity. So if you find some even the Alibaba told you that they own the factory. I think they maybe have a pre or relationship with the factory, but mostly they do not. They are not the real factory. They are not a real factory.
Yeah, you can also see if they have a ton of different types of products versus like a super specialty, and there are a lot of different ways to tell.
Yeah.
But payment terms. How do you get payment terms other than drinking with your suppliers and going to karaoke?
Yeah. Payment is very important. If you get like you have a credit from the factories, definitely you can have save your cash flow will be more safe. So get them support is very important. I think it's still firstly you must let them trust you. They think you are a valuable customer. And then you need to have a good relationship with the factories. Yeah, you can negotiate with them, and it's better that you come to China and go to the factory frequently. So they will think, oh, you really care about them. So they would like to support you and give you some credit. Mostly, like Amazon, it's at least have a 3 months, 2 or 3 months credit for the payment. And maybe like half in the before shipping and half after your sale. So 2 or 3 months is the best you can try.
And yeah, this is an internet business, but it's really a people business. Okay, if your factory knows your face, you're going to get a lot more priority than if you're just an email to them. Okay, so when you're using a trading company or any company, even a supplier, let's say that, how do you switch them and protect against them lowering the quality every time? Like they start off, the first order is super good,
Yeah.
and then they use lower grade materials, and it just keeps getting
Yeah,
worse.
that's the reason why you must check the repeat order, because when they get a factory, some factory will think that I already have this customer, so I can save my cost. I can use the material low quality. So you need to check the repeat order very carefully. And when every bulk production ship out, you'd better to do some inspection. This is very essential.
Also, Chinese suppliers will say yes to everything, but realize you get what you pay for. So if you say, hey, can you make this $5 cheaper? They'll say yes, but it might change the actual product, okay, and not in a good way. So what you actually want to do is make a spec sheet that has every grade, like exact, like 316 versus 316L aluminum or like something. Like you want to know every little detail about your product and have the spec sheet signed, like what kind of every material you're using, what their tolerances. You really need to get deep. And this is protection against quality fade as you go, and always keep getting inspections.
Yeah. This is kind of like the cultural difference, because for the Western people, they may more honest and they will say, oh no, I can't do that. But for Chinese, if you ask them when is that possible, is that okay, they will 100% say, yes, I can do that. So yes, no problem. Always like that. It's the cultural difference.
All right. How do you pay your suppliers?
As I mentioned, my supplier give me credits. Mostly, some will give me like I do not need to pay before the product ship out, and 2 or 3 months later I pay them. And some maybe like 15% before I ship the products, and 2 months later I pay them. It depends.
Yeah, don't be the guy paying 100% up front. Don't do it.
Never do that 100%. Yeah, never do that.
Yeah, okay. Don't just send them 100% and then maybe they disappear.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So to be honest, you still need to be very careful when you cooperate with Chinese supplier. A lot of problems maybe you will never imagine when you're doing business with them. Yeah.
Definitely outside of the imagination. But, yeah, Lisa, that was absolutely amazing. Give it up one more time for Lisa.
Thank you very much.